friends, welcome to Bella Stitchery. Today I'm going to show you how you can make some fun die cut leaves with dimension, lots of visual interest. Because I love leaves, I use them mainly in scrapbooking but also in card making. And so I tend to be drawn to the brands that include leaves with them. This, for example, is 49 in Market. See, they have leaves. Prima Marketing, some of theirs also have these like loose leaves, which I love, but then I find myself opening additional packages because I run out of the leaves first. But I love how full it makes floral collages. It's just the same as at a flower shop or, I don't know, Albertsons, where they give you so much greenery relative to the flowers and it makes it look so full. So I get bummed when I have packages with like 3 leaves, 12 blooms, and then I use these right away. And I feel like, okay, well now what? What shall I do? So I do also like die cutting my own leaves, but sometimes when you die cut just from a general cardstock, it just doesn't look as interesting. It tends to be a little flat. So there are options. You can emboss your paper first and then do your die cutting. Will make a big difference. Or you can paint your paper, and that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to show you a couple dies that I have. This one I've used, oh gosh, countless times in videos. This is Tim Holtz, who is my secret best friend. He doesn't know yet, but one day we'll meet and we'll just hang out and go to Disneyland together because he's at Disneyland all the time. So this one cuts out 2 gigantic leaves. I will post a link to this one here. It's called Garden Greens, and it's a Biggs die, which is nice because you could also cut through thicker materials like chipboard with the giant dies through your Sizzix. And then I have this, and I wish I could remember this brand. I just got it, but whenever I get new supplies in the mail, I tend to just black out, and I'm so excited that I throw caution to the wind, rip everything apart. It's like a tornado. And then I throw everything away that's garbage immediately and just start crafting. And then I look back and I'm like, oh wait, what was this? So I don't know. I've placed my feelers out on Facebook. If anyone recognizes this brand, don't know. There are a lot of similar dies though on Amazon. So I'll post some links to similar foliage for you. But what I did to kind of get a little creative with my leaf making is I just took some cardstock. This is just green. You could use any shade of green. You could work with different shades of green, and then you can layer your foliage in really interesting ways too. So I love Lindy's Gang shakers. Also another product I've used before. If you want to check out some videos on these, they are magical. They come out in a powdered pigment, like a little shaker here, okay? And you just sprinkle it on. This is going to give you a ton of color dimension because the powdered pigments anyway have variations of color in it. So once you put it where you want it, you're gonna just take water and spray it. You may already be able to see the darker tones on my green cardstock. And then what I did is, while it was wet, because I've done this before, is I took some Dilutions ink spray. This one is called Melted Chocolate, and I just sprayed it on my paper directly. I like doing it while it's wet because it makes it less harsh and kind of more blendy. That's the scientific term, by the way, is blendy. And look at that. Awesome. The more dimensions you give it, the better it's going to look in your die cuts because they're just going to look a little bit more organic, and they're going to also look very custom. And you could just keep spraying. You could keep layering. I like layering while wet. You can dry in between if you don't want things blending as much. If you dry in between, you're going to have more layer on top of layer versus like a kind of tie-dye. But I like the tie-dye. So I dried one with a heat gun, and it turned out like this. Same materials. You can also let it air dry. You could blot it off with a paper towel. Now, if you do the paper towel, it will lighten your ink. In fact, I will show you. Let me grab one. Okay, so if you take a paper towel roll and roll it because you don't want to wait, or maybe you don't want your paper to start warping. This is an option. Now again, if you heat dry this, you're going to have a darker look. If you blot it, as you can see, it's pulling some of the color. Look at all that color, by the way, that's in the Magicals. Remember when I said there's a lot of variation? Everything that's not brown is from that. It's kind of amazing. And then you have your paper. Now for the die cutting portion, you definitely want this to dry, or else you're not going to have clean lines. It's going to get weird. Just going to get weird. So I'm going to set this one aside and use the one that I've already dried. Let me move all of my things. Ta-da! In a graceful way. So here's my dry version. And I don't know if you can see on the camera, but it's almost got a metallic quality from those magical shakers as well. It's really cool. Then what I do, grab my leaves. Ta-da! Again, okay, is I place them as much to the side and corners as possible because I want to get all that square footage out of my paper. And then what I like to do is just take my children's scissors, apparently. I like how my scissors are missing, only to be replaced with these. Well done, toddlers. You win this round. Okay, now, that way I feel like I could use every little inch of my paper. I'm going to put this through my Sizzix. Here I have the, I'm going to hold it up because it's very reflective. This is the Chrome Precision base plate, which is phenomenal. And I have a review on this product on another video. And then put this, sandwich it together, die cut some stuff. Let me roll it off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now, ow, something was sharp. Okay, here are my leaves. Three here. There we go. I'm going to try to hold this up in a way that will show just how brilliant the color is. I know it's hard probably to see from an iPhone, but there is so much dimension in the color that when you layer, it almost looks like, I don't know, it just makes each one to me stand out versus cutting it from just an opaque matte cardstock that I buy in bulk when Michaels has a discount. See that? And it just looks so much more bougie. So let me show you a layout that I made using these exact same leaves. This is a scrapbook page that I made recently using Couture Creations paper. Some chipboard here, Prima Marketing flowers. But these leaves, I would have had to open like 6 packs of flowers to just pull all the leaves out. You see what I'm saying? Like, I love the way it looks and it just gives it so much more interest, but it's hard to find flower packs that come with a lot of leaves. You can purchase leaves, but they're like $6 a pack. Forget about it. Now, you can make your own and however many you like. And every time you do it, it's going to be a little bit different, but it's always going to look cool. So that's one idea for you. Try it with the different inks too. You could use distress inks, different kinds of ink sprays, watercolors, just anything that will give you kind of a textured look to your leaves, I think is really cool. So leave me a comment and let me know your favorite ink brands. Have you used Dylusions ink sprays before? They're really fun. They're super messy, but I get hypnotized watching Diane Reevely on YouTube. So check her channel out too. It's really cool. Subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. Let's be crafty friends together. Check it out and try it out. Let's make some stuff. Bye.